Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, A Moment with Monica. My name is Monica, and I equip, encourage, and empower others through the Word of God. And I love to do it. So we're back with another video today, and today we are going to be talking about the 5 lessons that I learned in 2024, and I hope that they can be a blessing to you on your journey to continue, no matter where you are in God, no matter what season you are in, that it will help you in 2025 to press forward no matter how you feel, no matter what your circumstances are, because it does work out for you in the end. If you don't know that, I'm here to tell you it actually does work out for you in the end. And even though you're giving God everything and you're surrendering, I promise you, like the meme, like the image, a picture with the teddy bear behind his back and the little girl holding the other teddy bear, I promise you, God has bigger and greater and more in store for you. I'm living it. I'm literally a living testimony. And so, let's go into these lessons that I learned. Number one, the seeds you have sown are not in vain. Whew. Before I switched careers and working as a teacher, it is a field where you give your 100%. Like you have to give your time, your energy, your sweat. I felt like I was just giving, pouring. And I've worked at several schools. And the last two for me were at the point where I was like, Lord, I'm exhausted. I am coming here with positivity, with good spirits. I'm coming here joyful. I listen, y'all. I would come to work maybe sometimes an hour early, but definitely 30 to 20 minutes early majority of the time, just so that I could worship before I even started seeing the students, speaking to the students. By the time their bus got here, I was worshiping. Okay, by the time they came into the classroom, it was filled with worship. My students who know me would tell you that I would play my worship music, okay? And by the time the last bell rung, that's when class would start and they would do their do nows. But I felt like I was giving no matter where I was, no matter what I was doing, no matter what organization, not only even in work, like at work, but also in different organizations and places and to people. And I was like, okay, God, I'm just pouring, but I was exhausted in my own life and just very tired and weary due to the challenges I was experiencing, the warfare and the grief. And let me tell you, at one point, I was like, God, everywhere I go, you tell me to bless and do. And this is not me saying this because I was entitled. I was weary and I was exhausted. And so I'm like, God, everywhere you tell me to go, I go. When you tell me to do this, I do this. I'm being a blessing. I'm serving. I am giving. But why do I feel like when it's my turn and I go into this a new place and I step into this new atmosphere, why do I feel like the way that I leave atmospheres for others to enter to is always much better than the atmospheres that I go into? And I just remember feeling so just so like so cheated, so jaded, like my gosh, like wow, like I left this place and I left it beautiful and I blessed it. I was praying over it. I left the classroom better than I entered it. And I went to another space and it was just completely different. And I was just so challenged by it. And but when I tell you the next place, like the job that I have now, completely different. And I mean, the first week, maybe even the first day, I was just bewildered. I'm like, okay, even in the interview when they were saying that, they were like, we are healthy, I was like, okay. Because your girl had been through it. Okay, the combat fatigue, the battle fatigue was there. So I was like, okay, sure, but I'm living it and I'm like, wow, this is so healthy and I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. And so I'm just here to say, like, the seeds you sown are not in vain. Like, it may take some time for you to see them, but they're not in vain. No matter where you are in life, no matter what area in your life that you're believing for like a harvest, you will receive that harvest. Continue to sow. And I'm grateful that I did continue to sow. Even at times where it was the most challenging, I did continue to sow. And sowing is not just, giving, although I was doing that. Y'all, I was in the McDonald's line. Dunkin' knew me. McDonald's knew me. No matter what school I worked out, if there was a McDonald's, if there was a Dunkin', they knew me. My kids ain't like Krispy Kreme like that. Sorry, Krispy Kreme. They ain't like that. Like they ain't like it like that. They knew me because they would be like, how many burgers you need? I'm like, let me get an egg McMuffin here, 3 egg McMuffins, 4 hash browns. They knew me. Okay, swiping. throw it in the bag just for my students. So it's not really, I'm not even just talking about it financially, but just in prayer and just being there, just being a light. And so sometimes it could be exhausting. You know, as people of God, everyone's like, oh, show that light, be the light. And you're like, mm-hmm. And then you're in an environment where you don't have much people trying to be the light, or maybe nobody at all, you know, or maybe people have a relationship with Jesus, but it's secret, it's private, and they don't share it. And so you feel like you're hitting a wall trying to get to the people that, you know, you're in your atmosphere at the moment. And so I just want to say, where I'm at now, where I prayed for, it took about a year to get here, a year and a half, a year and a couple months. You will reap the harvest. Keep going. All right, so the seeds you sown are not in vain. And you know what? I actually have a testimony. One of my students, like, I saw, it was so good. I quit the job, no backup plan. That was the job I quit. And a couple months later, tell me how I see my student at church with his mom and his sister. I was I was flabbergasted. I said, "Oh my god!" That made my day. I said, "You know what? Praise the Lord." All right, number 2. The fog gets clearer. Baby, you got to keep walking. You got to keep walking, baby. God will order your steps. A perfect man's steps is ordered by the Lord. He will establish your steps, okay? So keep walking. I promise you the fog will get clearer. When the Lord told me to leave my apartment, I know I had prayed that one prayer that I'm going to still testify, but I know I had prayed that one prayer. But when he cleared, like when he told me, okay, you're leaving, you're not staying here, you're leaving your job, you're leaving the city, you're leaving your apartment. And if you're my friend, you already know how I felt about that city. You know me. And so when he said that, I was like, okay. And I get, and we leave, and I'm like, the fog is fogging. Like, I can't see. Where are we going? What's happening here? I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I didn't like it for a long time. Okay. I didn't like it for a long, long time, but I kept walking. I kept believing. I kept praying. I kept going back to my community. I was like, I need help. I'm struggling. This is what I'm going through. This is how I feel today. I kept being honest. I kept being vulnerable. And even though I didn't understand what God was doing, I still was okay with looking stupid. Okay. I was okay with looking stupid when my family was like, what are you doing? When are you going to go to work? What's happening? Okay, you left this, you went to that, you're not there no more, you're going there. I kept walking, and the fog got clearer. What I prayed for, what I believed God for in 2023 came to pass by the end of the year in 2024. So keep walking. Number 3, what is this one? The right people will stay and understand. Don't take them for granted. Oh my gosh, shout out to my friends. I feel like I made so many videos and posted about my friends last year. Listen, I'm gonna have to keep doing it. They have been here. The truth. Listen, shout out to the friends. Shout out to the friends who have been here, who see you in your worst and be like, it's all right, baby. Get up, get up, get up. Shout out to the friends. And so I feel like the right people are gonna understand. There were times that I couldn't even express my anguish. Like, what do you mean? Like, I lost my grandfather. I lost the goat. The goat of the family is gone. Like, I don't even know. And then there were 2 more deaths before that, and then I quit my job with no backup plan, and God is not saying anything. But the friends that stayed, and they understood. They understood when I didn't have the strength anymore, when I didn't have the energy, when I needed space or I needed a moment. They were there. And so don't take those people for granted. The right people are going to understand. I feel like when you go through great loss, um and hardship and challenging seasons, everybody will have their own outlook and perception of you, and you just have to let them be. There's nothing that you can do but allow people to be offended and be okay with that, because not everyone's going to understand. I couldn't do what I normally did. I didn't have the strength to do it, but the right people knew that, and I was okay with that. Number 4, don't settle. No one will stop you if you do. Listen, baby, nobody's gonna stop you. If you want to stay in a job for 20, 30 years, the same job, if you don't want to do your work on your gifts and your talents, if you don't want to say yes to the ministry God put inside of you, if you don't want to speak thus saith the Lord, nobody's gonna stop you from settling. You know why? Because people are experiencing life as it happens to them as well. and they not no one has the energy. Hopefully this doesn't sound mean, like, you know what I mean, like, no one has the energy or even the time as much as they even would want to, right? There's people I'm like, I want you to win, come on, come on, come on, but it's like nobody can sit here and want it more than you. And we say that to our students all the time as teachers, as educators, because I'm not a teacher no more, but an educator. We say this all the time. I want it for you, but I can't want it more than you because you're not going to pursue it, right? I can't want it more than you. I can't be losing sleep because I want it and you don't. Eventually, they'll have to let you be. And so I'm saying this to tell you the thing about God, he'll relentlessly. He's chasing. He's never gonna let you go. He's gonna keep. That's why you got to keep God first. Seek first the kingdom of God, right? Because people get tired. People are humans. And you can't rely on people, and you can't make people a god. They're going to fail you every time because we can't be God. Please don't make me your idol. I can't be God for you, baby. God is the only one who can be God, the one and true living God. And so it's always been designed that God takes you from comfortable to uncomfortable so that he can change, transform, renew, and do what he needs to do so he can place you in the proper room at the right time in the right season. But people can't do that because people are not God and they only get a glimpse of your potential. They get a glimpse of your purpose. I remember when I was young in the faith and I was like, why didn't my pastors know this? Like, God is telling me to do this instead, but why couldn't they tell me? And why couldn't this? And I just was so young, right? And you trying to hear the voice, but you just don't know. It's your first time in the faith in a wilderness season, in a silent season. So you just don't know. And I'm like, but why can't they give me the answers? They don't have the answers for you. God has the answers. And so you have to seek God first. People just can't give you that. They just can't. They can literally affirm, bless you, love on you, believe in you. Come on, call it out. I see this in you. And my gosh, they can call it out. They can prophesy and speak. But baby, God gets the first and the last word. And so if you want to settle, there's only so much that people can do for you. And they're going to have to let you settle, not because they really want to, but because they have to, because God will call them to keep going, and God will say, "All right, I'm gonna come. Okay, okay, we're gonna get to her. I need you to keep going because I got people that need to be saved. Okay, I got people who are hungry and thirsty, and I'm gonna come deal with this one right here." And so sometimes you might be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm isolated, and this is not happening. People are rejecting me," and it maybe not be the case. It just may be that God needs to do a work in you so that you can step up. And so that's that. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. I've left so many places. Oh my gosh. I know y'all tired of me saying that. I'm not gonna lie, but so many things has happened in this past 4 years. If you've been sticking with this ministry and me, oh my gosh. God has not allowed me to settle, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful. It was lonely, it was hard, but I am grateful that He told me to get up. I know it's uncomfortable, but go into the uncomfortable seasons because there's some things waiting for you, okay? I'm preparing you. All right, number 5, now is the time to take a risk. This year, thanks to you all and your support, I reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Let me tell you, I was so thankful. The amount of times that I wanted to quit YouTube, the amount of times that I wanted to give up on ministry, my voice, pursuing what God has said because of challenges and things in my life. Wow. By the time when I got to the 1,000 subscribers, I actually ended up finding out that was when my grandfather had cancer. But before, like, in thinking about it now and maybe a little bit back then, I remember thinking to myself, thank you, Lord. At 21 years old, I said yes and decided to start this ministry, Along with Monica. 21 years old, y'all. I was blocked from school from 19 to about like almost to 21 or 21. And so it was about almost 2 years because I did get accepted earlier in the year that I went back in 2019. But I started school in the fall. That was my thing. And so I remember being blocked from school, no passion, no desires. I mean, depressed, suicidal. And I remember God saying, start your blog. It's gonna be called The Moment with Monica. I had someone at the time, a dear person, to me, gave, suggested the name, and I was like, yeah, this is it. I feel like this is it. And starting the blog, she helped me with the blog, and also just, getting all the information, getting everything that I needed, getting all the admin stuff. And so looking at it now, I'm like, man, I was 21 years old. I literally was a baby, and I'm 27. Wow, wait, did I start it at 20 or 21? One of them. And I'm 27, and I'm just thinking to myself, thank God I took a risk. Thank God I took a risk. I remember I had just started a full time job. I was a baby. My little credit card. Was it? Yeah, yeah. I think. I'm like, oh my gosh, how old was I? I think I was 20 or 21. And I was such a baby. Such a baby. No, I was 21. I was such a baby because I'm turning 28 this year. Makes sense. It makes sense. Makes sense. And I just remember like thinking back on those moments, and I'm like, God is so faithful. God is so good. Like, I took a risk, and look at where I am. Look at how God has matured me. Look at how God has just like shown out on my life. Look at his glory on my life. I took a risk. I said, yes, Lord. I didn't know what in the world I was doing with this blog. I didn't know how to design the blog. I didn't know how to write. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I've been on several magazines. I've written for several blogs. I've written so many books. I am just so ecstatic that I started when I did. And it's not too late to start now, because there are new things that I'm starting this year that I'm so like, oh my gosh, I'm 27. But y'all, take the risk now, because I promise you, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, wow, that came out of me? What? What? Because time flies by. I literally cannot believe that it has been 7 years, almost in October, it'll be 7 years since this ministry started. And look at the impact. Look at what God has done, the books that has come out of this ministry. I mean, there's so much. I even have screenshots of people, like testimonies that people have shared with me. Like, God has done so, so, so much because I took a risk. So now is the time to take a risk. Now is the time to leave what you need to, because God can use it for his good. For like, there's just so much greater glory, future glory to come out of your life if you take that risk now. Because now is like, I'm reaping benefits. I'm dwelling in the harvest. The harvest is here, because in these past 7 years, I didn't give up. When I took the risk, I kept going. Even when I wanted to, even when I couldn't post, even when I couldn't create as much, I still kept going. I still kept believing. Take a risk. Take a risk. There is a risk that you need to take, that God is telling you to take in 2025. And I'm telling you, it is going to not only bless you, but your family, your future family. Take a risk. One of the best things that I experienced last year, into coming into 2025, was being able to pray and fast with my family, and pray over every single one of them, and to just cover them, and for us to worship together. I was like, God, okay. Little me, when I gave my life to Christ at 19 and nobody was with me. But now, come on, Jesus. Come on. So take that risk. Take that risk. Anyways, I am so, so happy that I was able to share some of the things that I've learned last year. I hope this video blessed you and encouraged you. I can't wait to see like what's going to come out of this year for you. Like, I just want to start a community just for us to talk, because I just want to know, like, what is God doing, like, and how can I pray for you? So let me know. I definitely have things on my website for prayer requests. Like, there's a page for that and things of that nature. But community for us, I feel like it's coming soon. I feel like this might be a goal this year, where we are in community. We might just have an in-person meeting. God is doing great things. Anyways, I pray that this video blessed you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. Peace.